Hello everyone and welcome to a new PHP tutorial. So in the previous tutorial we had a look at Git, and today we are going to learn the language itself, right? So first let's make sure that XAMPP is working, Apache and MySQL both are working fine. Let us run Visual Studio Code. So I am going to close the current folder. And where is that close folder? And next I will open a new folder. Go here, and XAMPP and htdocs. Where is that? htdocs, there you go. And I will call this learning PHP. So this is the folder learning PHP. We select that. Awesome. Next, we will view the terminal. This is the terminal. Okay. And now I will just say here git init. Okay, so git initialized, that's fine. And now I will create the main file. Yeah. So I'll create the first file with in order to learn the language itself. And there are so many subjects, so we will handle them a little bit quickly, and then later on we will have a look at creating a project, something like either a system for a secretary or maybe a content management system. Anyway, so let's start with something very obvious, which is displaying a message. So I'll create a new file here. I'll call this 01 display message.php. Okay, so the name of the file will contain or will explain the functionality here. Okay, so yeah, so we have this one. Now in PHP, when you want to write code in PHP, you need to tell the server that this part of the page is for testing PHP, and to do that you put small brackets, question mark, PHP, okay, and then you close that with a question mark and greater than a bracket. Now to display a message, you simply say echo, let's say Happy New Year. Okay, a little bit early, but yeah, so this is Happy New Year, and we save that. Okay, and in order to view the result, we will open this one. Just say localhost and learn PHP. There you go. Oops. This is gonna be what's the folder here? Learning PHP. Learning PHP. Okay, so this is the main folder, and you notice that in the link %20, okay, and this is basically used to indicate that this is a space. Spaces are not allowed in the URLs. Okay, so to express them you put this character, these codes. Anyway, so let's have a look. So Happy New Year, as you can see here. So displaying a message is very straightforward. Okay, you just type echo and that's it. Okay, so let's add something more. Echo. This is the second line, and we save here semicolon. And now when you go and refresh, what do you see? You see that what? The second line is actually concatenated here with the first. Well, and this is one of the issues with working with HTML. You can't have strings separated like that. You have to separate them with tags. So if we go and let me see, does it inspect? What is the view source? I'm used to Chrome, but whatever. Let's see. Okay, so you can see here there is no separation. So this is the HTML that you get. Happy New Year. This is the second line. Very straightforward. So let's go here. Let's go here and let's try to tell the compiler or the browser to separate these two lines. Okay. So one of the ways I do that is to use these PR. Okay, these are called HTML tags, and when the browser sees them, it will execute them. This will allow for a line break. Okay, here, sorry. And if I refresh, you can see this is the Happy New Year, and this is the second line. Okay. By the way, you don't have to write them like this. You could write them in a different way. Okay, so I'll keep these, but I will comment them. And to comment a number of lines, you could either make this technique, // put the comment, /* and the content of the comments, and // Okay, so now these are disabled. They don't work. So if I go and refresh, I get nothing, as you can see. So there is another way to write the same thing. Echo Happy New Year, and you could right away put br/close, and then this is the second line. Okay, both ways are accurate, both ways work without a problem, and both ways return the same result. However, the difference is that this one might be a little bit easier to read, and you could actually make this one also easier to read. So I will comment this line, okay, but I won't use /*. I will use this. Okay, so use this one to comment single line, use this one and close with this one to comment multiple lines. So I will write the same message in a different way. Echo. Now this line will span this statement will span multiple lines. So I'll say Happy New Year, and then PR, and this is the second line, and actually semicolon here, you save, and when we refresh, you can see we are still getting the same thing. Okay, in terms of rendered data, not the same thing in terms of the text being sent to us, but in the end the rendering will be this way. Okay, anyway, something that is very straightforward, not a big deal. Okay, we can actually display all these three results. Okay, so I'll just say here echo br. Let me just say p, okay, for paragraph. Oh, sorry. Okay, and I think it is for paragraph actually, I'm not very sure. So I'll put a number of stars here. Okay, so I'll separate each one of these statements. Okay, and I'll put a comment here. First try, and here second try, and here third try. Okay, so, and I'll put this later on for another try. So let's go back to the page and we refresh. So this is the first try, this is the second try, this is the third try. Something very straightforward, right? So the point is, you use echo to display messages. For a large message, you could use echo multiple times to display each line of the message, or you could combine all the lines together and use the tag br for separating them if you would like to. Okay, and this doesn't have to be text, it could be a complete HTML and so on. Or you could span the statement multiple lines and display them in any way or shape you like. Okay, they will all work. There is nothing wrong with any one of these. The most important thing you have to take into consideration is that how easy it is for you later on, or for the one who's going to work with your code, to understand it, right? Some would argue that this makes things a little bit harder for the reader. Others would say that this is all jumbled up so into a single line, so it is hard. Others would say, well, this is the better way, but it will consume more lines, extra. I have no specific opinion about that. Do whatever you feel it is easier for you and more convenient. Okay, so we finished the displaying messages part. So what am I gonna do? I will go here and make the first commit, and I will call this testing display messages. Okay, and we commit this one. Oh, so I didn't do the username, and yeah, so to navigate quickly, I right click here on the file and reveal in Explorer. So it got me into the folder without me going to, navigating through Windows. Right click, Git GUI, and it options. Now the username, and I will give it a save. There you go. I'll close this, and I will close this. Sorry. So now let's go here again, and just, okay. Now we made our first commit, and this commit is in the master. I didn't create the branches. I don't want to create the branches here. That's not a bigger project, but anyway. So, given that, we finished the first thing, which is displaying messages. Okay, so now let's go to the next thing that we want to look at, which is defining variables. So in order to do that, I will add a new file. I call it 02 using strings.php. Okay, PHP, and I will close with this. Yeah. So now, in order to define a string variable, or actually any kind of variable in PHP, you need to start with a $sign. Okay, and I will call this message. So MSG is a variable, and PHP knows that it's a variable because of this sign. So I will say happy, new year, right? And in order to see the content of this variable or output it, we use what? We use the same command we learned earlier, which is echo, but this time instead of fixing the writing the string, we just say $MSG. We just add our variable here. Let's save this one. Let's go, and instead of this, I will refresh. This is the second page. Let us view the result. So we have happy new year. Okay, so this is the string variable. Now let's say let me see, echo, let's put a separator. This is a separator. Okay, and let's say now we want to experiment with displaying two variables. So first thing here, what are we going to do is comment this, defining a string variable, and now let's see how to combine two string variables. So what are we gonna do? We are gonna say here m1 for message 1 equal happy, semicolon, m2 equal new, and the last one, m3 equals year. And in order to combine them together, we use this operator, m1. We use the dot to concatenate multiple string. In other languages, it is usually the plus sign, but in PHP, you use the dot to indicate that you want to concatenate multiple strings. Okay, m3, semicolon, and finally we echo MSG2. Now this will, if I use this as it is, it will trigger an error. So yeah, and finally I put another separator. We save. Now we run. You can see same result. To make things a little bit more clear, I will use the following. I will say echo m1 semicolon. I will use echo m2 and m3. And if I refresh, I'll see them all combined together. I want to put each one on a separate line. So I will concatenate each string with a constant, which is in this case, it's br. Okay? So I put this here, put this here, put this here, and I will save. Now if I run, I see happy new year. Okay, this will allow me to display each variable separately. And by the way, since we are learning the language, let us try to do something that will show us what's happening. I will put a breakpoint here. Let's go here um, I'll just say run and debug. Okay, so no configuration file. Okay, yeah. So here, let's see, F10. So if you put the pointer over MSG, what do you have here? You have Happy New Year. This is the content of MSG. And you can see here that this is the watch. So you could actually, you could right click this one and add to watch. So you can see its content. Also, you have $sign and one. Also add to watch. You can see that its value is null. Same goes for this, add watch, and same goes for this, add watch. So the value is now being displayed. You can see this is the result here. And now echo. So this is the result, and M1, you can see here happy, M2 new, M3 as you can see. And now we are displaying the first, the second, the third value, and finally we already combined these together and you can display the result. Very straightforward, right? Yeah. So I hope this makes things a little bit clear. Okay, so now we finished defining string variables. So let us commit this one and start with the next thing. So okay, 02 using strings, and I will comment here. Okay, so next we will have a look at using numbers. Okay, so here I will just define new file using numbers.php. Okay, and PHP. Now, to define a number, you define it just like a string. You put $sign and the variable name, okay, and you assign a number to it. So this is 10, right? So this is the first thing. To define another number, you put $sign and this is gonna be 20. And to define another one, and 3 equal 30. Okay, now if you want to do an operation, okay, you just write the variable names with the operations between them. So and 1 plus $sign and 2 plus $sign and 3. Again, pay attention that these are only used with numbers. The plus signs only used with numbers. If you are trying to concatenate strings, you use the dot. Okay, so very straightforward. Yeah, you could actually and 5 equal and 4, sorry, and give me a second, and 4 multiplied by 10 semicolon. And if you want to display the result of an operation, you just say echo dot dot equals n1 multiplied by n2, sorry, $sign n2 and semicolon. Very straightforward. You can see here we are displaying the first number with an x for multiplication and n2 and equal sign and 1 multiplied by n2. Okay, and PHP will convert from number to string and concatenate. Okay, so let's go back here, let's go back and refresh, and let's have a look here. So 10 multiplied by 20, you have 200. Okay, very straightforward, not doesn't need much explanation. Certainly there are other functions. You could have let's see, square root of n3. Okay, so these are functions and you could call them. And basically, if you want to see what functions are available, you just write the name of the function you are expecting or the type of operation. You could search for W3 school. So here, W3 school PHP in this case, W3 school PHP. You could go here if you'd like to and search for the function you want and so on. There are so many things about PHP, but for now, what's important is to know how to call a function and so on, and how to use numbers with them. Okay, so yeah, this is very straightforward. I don't think it needs much explanation. Okay, however, what I want to show you now is errors. When you have an error in PHP, what's going to happen? So let's go back to this page. Let's close it. Yeah, we return to this one. Refresh. 10 multiplied by 20 equal to 100. So let's say that, for example, I forgot to put the dollar sign. So I forget here to put dollar sign in front of n3, and I will save. It's already showing me that there's an error, but it is possible to save the file. However, if you leave the error here, let's say you refresh, you will get what? Parse error, syntax error, unexpected token equals, and it will give you the name of the file and the line. So if you go to line number 5, there is no dollar sign, right? Okay, so let's forget things here and do something similar. Okay, so uncaught error, undefined constant n2, blah blah blah, on line 11, and it is the error in here. So as you can see, in PHP, when there is an error, it is being rendered into the HTML page. You have to be very careful and try not to make these errors appear to the end user. There are a number of ways to handle them, okay? But for now they are useful since they help us understand what to expect and what to see, what is happening on the server side. Okay, so yeah, yeah. Since we had a look at these numbers, let's have a look at the division. Okay, so this is an integer, this is an integer. I will change this. Okay, so I'll just say the m4 equal n1 and divide it by $sign n2. So I will divide two integers and I will just echo n3, sorry, n4. Okay, so I'm dividing 10 by 20. So let's have a look. And it is showing me what? It's showing me 0.5. So these numbers now appear as integer. However, if you put, I think it was int operator, if I'm not mistaken, this will convert the result into an actual integer. It will get rid of the floating point part. And let's have a refresh. Oh, sorry. I think it works like casting. Give me a second. I remember there is something for ints. So let's refresh. Yeah. Yeah, it's worked like this. It is like casting. Now I have to put the brackets here. Let me see what happens if I remove the brackets. I think you'll get the 0.5 again, and we get the 0.5 again. So what happens that this tells the server that this first number should be treated as integer. However, the result of the division should not be treated as integer. However, if you put the brackets in here, what this tells the server is that, well, perform division first and then make sure that the result here is turned into an integer. Very important to pay attention to these little things because they could cause you problems. Okay, so there are many other operators and things, but for now we are just satisfied with having these. So let's oh, you know what, I think that's enough for today. I don't want to go very quickly. Um, right. Yeah, and hopefully in the next video we'll have a look at conditions and if then in PHP. That will be all. Have a nice day and bye bye.